Good afternoon. Now we have our program, Dobra program and UCMC project, Community Spokespersons, and it's about implementation of decentralization reform. Now of 750 United Territorial Communities were created, and 45 are waiting for elections, and 30 are waiting for final decision for unification, and also joining of United Communities. 56 joined, 35 existing territorial communities. But also there are many communities that are still in the process of unification, and these are more than 7,000. So does decentralization provide proper development of communities? And we now are going to speak with Ivan Rubskyi, head of Bashtanska United Community. So I've mentioned a lot of figures, so there is a big dynamics, and I want to say that this is not the only task of the reform, but the quality implementation creates conditions for other reforms in healthcare sector, in education, and a lot of territorial communities are not in the process of unification. And those communities that developed, that united, they really develop, and we have concerns about communities that didn't. So first traditional question, why Bashtanska community got united? So I worked in the government for 30 years, and I went up the ladder, and I'm interested in this work, and I saw this double function of power, and for me it would be interesting to work in unification of the communities. We spoke about it for a long time, and President of the government provided us with the opportunity to concentrate on our problems of our communities, and Bashtanska United Territorial Community is among those communities. In Mykolaiv Oblast we have 23,000 people, and we got united due to a prospect plan, and we have investment and other projects. And while you said it correctly that today there are communities that do not want to get united, and it is rather strange for us, and they delay reforms, and those heads of communities, they just do not think about their communities, they think only about themselves. And also they delay medical reform, and school masters and teachers, they should think about this process, not only about their salaries. So our community got united and get responsibilities, a lot of responsibilities. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but we believe that we did the right thing. So 9 local communities got united, 26 settlements, more than 22,000 people. So what is the heritage of the previous type of system? What heritage did you get? As I've said, dual function of power. We got these responsibilities, and we still feel it, and there is parallel administration and community, and we have nearly the same responsibilities. So this they have we have 70% of population, they have 30, so we should save the funds, and we lack some premises because there is dual parallel functions and lack of legislation, and controlling bodies, especially law enforcement bodies, They also didn't change their work, and some responsibilities were taken away, but they verify often, and it impedes development, and we have good financial discipline, and we do not violate rules. And first deputy left, and the heads of the department also left, and we have such a heritage, and we work in such conditions, and we understand that we will do our work properly. About the previous system of governance, the system that didn't have responsibilities and resources, I'm interested, what did you get concerning infrastructure and in other areas of life of community? The reform provided a lot of positive things, the reform, but I ask you about the past. Before, we didn't have the responsibilities, we didn't have those preferences that we get after the reform and unification of communities, and also the responsibility increased. What reform is? We got financial resources, we got responsibility, and we are responsible for everything. So we have these responsibilities on our shoulders. We didn't have it before, and now our work is really interesting in our community, but it is really heavy and difficult because there is a lot of responsibility. And what are other characteristics of the first year of life in the new format? So there are many characteristics. So we got responsibilities and financial resources, and the state now really helps and provide preferences to the territorial communities, and through the Fund of Regional Development and through social economic development and the infrastructure subvents, and we work closely with the foreign partners, and we feel that the state really helps the communities to develop, and we didn't have such results in the past. And also 50 million investment from different sources came to our community. So our communal enterprises for 30 years didn't get any COPEX for the development and equipment. And now our community enterprises, communal enterprises got equipment, and our local government and our facilities, they really work. Our Bashtanska, our territories, they develop 70% of resources goes to the village in order to bring them to our level. So the heads of the communities, they tell about the equipment, they speak about some repairs, and what about the resources? The sources of those resources, and those heads whose communities were not united, they told us about it. And what about the budget, how it changed and due to what it changed? First, the budget changed due to the financial resources that were provided. 60% of taxes were provided to us, so we can use this resource efficiently, and this is really important. Those communities that didn't unite, they do not have such investment, and they should join, and they just lose time. And we got united at the end of 2016, and we lost a lot of resources. If we've joined earlier, we had not 50 but 100 million. But we have prospects, and we work on the issue of bringing big investment for a swimming pool and stadium and other facilities. And also we think for the future and to provide sources for the budget through industrial park, through production, because it is great that the state takes care of us, but you know that there is a subvention from the state, and then we should launch the industrial park and industry, and we should use the funds from those resources. So I would like to get the answer to the question. So before the unification, you have 5 million, and after unification, this budget changed. So I wouldn't say that in each community has its peculiarity, and our budget increased 2.9 times. So we had 7 million, now we have 150 million. So plus 50 million investments. So this is a big difference, and those responsibilities and financial resources that were provided. And the most important thing, we have independence, and due to investment, we can develop our community. So I know that your community developed a roadmap for development of the territory for the nearest future. This is the strategic plan of development of community until 2025. So what about the interests of all those 26 settlements that are in the community? After the community got united, we created our statute of our community. Then we've created the plan of development of our community for 2018-2025, and we did it not in the offices, but we created a working group headed by proper people, and I also in this group, and the heads of the departments, the starostas, and there are many people, civil society organizations, and we've created such a project, and all the interests were taken into account, and also we were helped by Dobre American program together with the Polish side, Elżbieta Wysocka and Selecka Jaska from Poland. We were in Poland in the framework of Dobre program. We had a business trip there. And we have 3 plans of development, and they were implemented. And there the situation was much worse than in Ukraine. And our community now is one of the best. And industrial parks, social issues are resolved there. So we studied this experience, how people work, and we created such a plan, and we implemented it successfully. We create working industrial plan, and also we created the document for the sustainable industrial and construction development. And also before unification, we had such an issue as building a swimming pool, and now we started its construction due to the help of the VR deputy, and also everything is implemented successfully. And speaking about strategic plan, let's look at separate points of this plan. So the restoration of infrastructure and the development of the new one, this is important, and also the building of roads is important. So the state created the road fund, and 11 billion hryvnias are envisaged for the construction of roads in the regions. And did you get some money from this fund? Did you allocate some money from your budget? The roads is the big problem, and our region is developed, but we have a bad situation with the roads. So we have such a heritage as bad roads. Unfortunately, today we were waiting for the repair of these roads. And they said that starting 1st of January, these roads will be provided to communities, but then they were provided to administrations, and we speak with administrations about it, and they promised to find resources for these roads, and they promised to do something about these roads, and we created 2 base schools. And there's problems with the buses and ambulances, and we work with administration, and this issue will be resolved. About our funds, last year we provided 5.3 million hryvnias for roads. 70% is in rural area, and this is about 6 million. And in one of the villages we created a documentation for the main road, 29 million. And we need this proper resource for the roads. But I believe that Ukraine is an attractive state. We have ports, and we hope that investors will join who are interested in logistics, and our state is also interested in this. And the experiment that we have in our oblast, we will have this 63 million in our oblast for this. And what about the overall sum for these roads and the time needed? So this is a long-term project, because we do not have roads in our community. Maybe 1 billion, but this is utopia. This needs a lot of time. We cannot cope with local roads now. One more point about the roads. The community should be able to support, to maintain these roads. Do you have such an opportunity? We do not have such a capability, but we work on this problem. Now we have a project, and we speak with deputies, so we want to buy proper equipment in order to support these roads. Maybe not, it's not about asphalt, just to make them bearable. And there is such an issue about the tenders, about Prozoro, and the legislator should change the situation. We are ready to work, and so we should be provided with proper equipment and funds, and we will be able to support, maintain the roads, because in some roads buses cannot go. So did you meet with some people's deputies? I said about our Rubskyi, Valery Alexeyevich, our deputy, and he did really a lot last year for our community, and he said that reform and united communities are priorities for him. And last year he really helped us in construction of swimming pool, and we are working now on the sports complex in order to construct it for 100 million and 63 million for the swimming pool. So all the schools got equipment, the boards, the computers, and also the playing grounds in the villages for children, and also the artificial track and many other things. We cooperate with people's deputies, we have plans, and all these problems in legislation. We provide our opinion to the committees of the Supreme Council. We work with them, and as a member of the board of the Association of the United Territorial Communities, we cooperate through deputies and through association. So it is important that the voice of the communities be heard. So let's speak about such an area as the build-up of economic muscles. I know about the survey about the preparation of the plan, and 32% of those people who were surveyed, they said that the biggest resource for the development of the community is the support of the state, and less people see the strong sides of the community. But people should not only be able to spend, they should know how to earn. How do we work in this area? This is an interesting and the most important question. You said that 32% are waiting for the help of the state. This is our mentality. 70 years it was done by the state, and there was no initiative, only a salary for the work, and it is difficult to change the situation. It will take time, and we work on this in our community, and our community is one of the best. And we have Slavia brand, Bashtanska brand, and it provided the products for the sum of 1.89 billion, and we didn't allow this enterprise to die. We made it work, and we did good things for the medium-sized business. And at the end of 90s, there was a crisis in its acute stage, and construction firms and collective farms failed, and we created other enterprises, and this was important for us. And these entrepreneurs that started from the scratch, they built modern shops and also some other facilities, and we have opportunity to relax, to go somewhere. About the prospects now, the most important thing for the community, how to deal with the situation, is to create industrial park. And I know about the law, and I studied this law, and I communicated with the mayor of Mykolaiv, and he said that this will be important for Mykolaiv in 10 years. But I saw communities in Poland with 15,000, and they have the industrial parks, and they export to Europe and Ukraine, and I understood that we should create a plan, and we have such a plan now, to create an industrial park that will work and that will provide stability for us. And here maybe the state needs support of the state. Maybe they are right, because in Poland the communities they were provided with land plots, and the state brought all communication, and we cannot provide these communication lines and these infrastructure lines. We can only get it from the state, and the state should help, and the process will continue. So we work on registration of the industrial park, so we should create this formal side, and that it will work. So our mentality, about the land plots, people lease these land plots, and there are some shadow schemes. Some people do not pay taxes, and that's why we have such a problem. About 5-10 hectares, so you can really earn from this land. You can create greenhouses, and we do not get accustomed to this, and we should change our consciousness, because we have everything now. We work on these issues, and the community, the business, the power, we should work together, and the state provides us with some sort of so-called candy in order that we changed our conscious, and we were provided with financial resources, and we created the basis, and the economy should develop, and we work on this. So we have 3 strategic documents, and this is the the main idea of these documents. So about this quality of roads, from 5 points they said about 1.5 or 2 points for the roads, and no one provided higher scores. So this is about quality of life of people, and they need better life. They need competitive education, healthcare. So what about the development in this area? I will criticize a little bit. Bashtanska region and our united community, we were always the best. And I worked in a state power for 33 years, and now I'm the head of territorial community, and we work to develop social area, and our social area is the best in the region. So we have gymnasium, and we have really good village schools, and we invested into them throughout years in order to make them the best. So we are unique not only because we got united in the best community, but also because we have more ambitious plans. We want to create a hospital district, and now Bashtanka, Первомайск, Mykolaiv, these are the towns of state importance, and the east of our region. There are many villages who need support, and we bought equipment for state institutions, and we have the offices of prosecutor's office and pension fund and veterinary service office. So they are present in our area. We work on this, so people got accustomed to this. So we have good education, and in healthcare we invested a lot. We invested 25 million, and last year 13 million, and we will continue this work this year. So we have a lin and library and musical school, and we've repaired all the sports halls for the children. People got accustomed to this, and they want even more. Of course, Europe is better developed, and in Poland I saw new schools, and we created 2 base schools. We created 2 projects for base schools, and for 22 million each, and we work in this area about the roads. It's clear that we do not have roads. And we have better results in the healthcare and education sphere, and we have the documents, and the money was allocated, and we stimulate our rural communities because they do not get accustomed to write projects, and village councils, they realized the modern projects, and some villages didn't implement even one project. So we provided money to them, and they should choose the most problematic facility, and we provided the funds, and they will write the projects, and they have the packages how to do this in order to be provided with the infrastructure funds. So a lot is done. Sometimes I hear from separate politicians, they say that decentralization ruins villages and schools. Do you have this? First, this is our mentality. I'm not 18, and I remember that in village where I lived, in our school, we had one school, 1,200, and high school 800, and out of 3 councils from different villages, children came to our schools, and everything was good. And now they ignore this. They do not want these base schools, and the project we wrote we've written about the base schools in Bashtanska, and they have proper level, these schools, and the quality will increase if these projects are implemented. And the same in healthcare. This is our mentality. We do not want to live as in the past, but at the same time, people are afraid of changes. So we have these results, and we see it in our community. You may see it on the screen, the information about the equipment, and this was unimaginable before the reform, and this reform is irreversible, and we should continue, and we thank the government and the state for the support they provide to territorial communities, and we do not have, should not return back. So about budget participation, participatory budget, why it is important for the community. So we all like investment, and we seriously worked in order to get them in our community. Even before the unification, and we had 16 projects, and Dobra project, and German project, and the state support, and we are really happy when we win something. And we should establish proper relations between people and power, and we have participatory budget, and we joined this work because we know that this is important, and 550,000 were allocated, and village councils, they said that the projects should be created, and there are different people. Some people joined the projects, and the 31 projects were created, and 28 were on the contest, and some of them won, and 33 were provided this year. People understood that it can be done, and this provides discipline, and this provides the opportunity to people to write projects, and then these projects will be promoted, and we pay a lot of attention to the sustainable energy. And the investments in this area, they are really prestigious, and these investments are efficient, and we signed the agreement of the mayors, and we joined the energy efficient cities of Ukraine, and now we create a plan of sustainable energy, and this will bring investment. So we speak a lot about investment, but I know that for this we need to have proper documents for the community, and these are 26 settlements, and I know that there is a general plan of Bashtanska that is of 1993. Maybe it is obsolete now. So some plans are even more obsolete. They were created in 1980s. So what delays the development of the community? And what about the plans for the whole community, the documents for the whole of the community? So 1 year before unification, I started to write the plan for Bashtanska because it was obsolete, and it is difficult to plan something new because this work is paralyzed throughout the country. And when I became the head in 2016, we allocated the funds, and I started to write the plan. And now we have it on state examination, and the state will verify it and provide it to us. And also the money was paid, and there will be a plan for Dobrinska village. This is the biggest that joined us, and there is a railroad, and there were a lot of enterprises and infrastructure facilities, and water and gas and sewage facilities. They should be repaired, and these are the facilities for investment, about social economic development, and the plans for this. Until 2020, we will create a general plan, master plan for the whole community, and we will see whether it is efficient, because in some regions it is better to make some separate plans in order not to because plans, they become obsolete quickly. So we have such plans. So I listen to you, and I understand that you got money, you got responsibilities, and you really did your work. And what about those who didn't get united? Why do they do this? So some heads of communities, they ignore this. They do not want to do it. They are afraid of responsibility. So we may say they believe that they are in a better shape because those communities, they do not have social responsibility, they do not have hospitals, schools on their balance, but this is the responsibility of administration then. So they have land, and they get salary, bigger salary, and they repair some roads, and they present it as a democracy, but they do not have proper funds. And we got 50 million investment this week, and we repaired the roofs, we warmed the schools, and they didn't have this. So I believe that they just are afraid of responsibility. I believe that the reforms should be implemented and the state should help in this. I understand that there is a law on unification, voluntary unification, but if people do not want to work for their communities, if they believe that they can support all their facilities themselves, I believe they will join the communities because they cannot do this. So this process will be provided. So this process of unification, it will be completed, and these communities, they will join because they won't be able to support their social sphere. So some had said that first they should build roads, repair schools. So first they should do something for me, then I will decide whether I will unite my community. So you said about these 32%. So you should understand the situation in the state. We have war and difficult economic situation, and in order to overcome these problems, we have these reforms, we have these responsibilities, and we should develop our communities. So some people say that they will wait and see. Some communities develop, some communities just wait. So I believe that this is the wrong way. They are not on the right path. And could you provide some advice for them? So I had such a wish. I wanted to unite all the community, and if there was one region, one community, I would unite it without any problems. So I had 3 communities, and we got united, and we had prospect plan. And you know that elections, they take time. But today, I do not want to do this because Bashtanska region is one of the biggest. We united 22,000, and 50% of regions, they have less than 20,000, and many are not united. So it's not a problem to unite people, but it's a problem to provide proper funding for this. and we should resolve these issues, and we should create proper conditions for everyone. That's why I advise to the heads of communities to get united. So 73% of taxes they go to Bashtanska, and we should share with others because they do not have proper staff, proper resources, and we have the best specialists, but we have problems. But in the villages, the situation is worse. And I advise the heads to get united, and I had a meeting on a sectoral platform in Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, Mykolaiv community, and they have a community, and the former head of the council, he helps this community, and they understand that they should unite, and the sooner the better, because time passes and some communities just fail. So I advise everyone to get united. So you have such a wonderful community, and I would like to ask you, in order that audience understand what is the main in your community. And I understand now that about the Bashtanska head of the community, what is the main, the most important thing. Our community is really unique. We created a plan of strategic development of the community, and we said that we are unique because of our history and sustainability in our development. And I would like to say that in Bashtanska we have the champion in butterfly. He is a champion of the world. Boychenko Semyon Petrovich, the champion of the world, and last year posthumously he is now in the Hall of Fame as the best swimmer, one of the best swimmers of the 20th century. And now we build one of the best swimming pools, and we have also competition in his name, and this will be our pearl, and we will make money on this, and we will involve people. And also former Minister Yosipenko also was the member of our community. He is an academician, PhD. He fought in the Second World War, and he did really a lot for our community, and our community was one of the first because he helped in the development of our infrastructure. Also, maybe you heard, now he lives in Kiev, he is 95 this year, Alexander Alexandrovich Sizonenko, and also Dozhenko, and also Mr. Dovzhenko, the painter, and he really did a lot for us. And also we build the swimming pool and other facilities in order to maintain our heritage, in order that our community was known not only locally but also globally. Bikers festivals, Chupacabra, could you tell us about it? So this year in September, due to Dobra program and many project the cinema hall, and we will have also the hall for the meetings, and also we have problems with the roads and quality of water, and one of the and Dobra will provide us 2 million for the water project, and also we have festival of bikers, and Hristofurivka village is unique, and Arkas lived there. This is a known person, the governor of the oblast, and the commander of the fleet, and there is a unique place, and bikers love this place, and we will provide funds for co-financing, and we believe that this will be a pearl of our community. That's why in August we plan to hold this festival. Thank you very much for this meeting, and today we were speaking with Ivan Rubskyi. He is a head of Bashtanska United Community. Till the next time, goodbye.
Половину питань я пропустила, бо я бачила, що час